Cool. Oh my.
Gusta Janice, I don't know how you even pronounce that. She's a slut. She's this pro-feminist, blah, 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 blah. She's a good-looking girl, man. She's beautiful. But, dude, not worth it. Stay away from this girl. Stay away from this woman. She is dangerous to your health.
Welcome back. Okay, so I decided I'm going to start a series. It's going to be called TIK Talks. Like, isn't that genius? I'm so smart. But it's going to be like me going over certain TikToks that kind of have to do with the same topic and then like going over it in detail and also doing some research. You know, it's going to be fun. Today, we're going to talk about a lot of sexist shit. For example, we're going to talk about why the tradition of marriage is sexist as fuck. We're also going to talk about why women give birth laying down. That is fucking insane. I cannot wait to go over that story because y'all are going to be shook. I have to pay for car insurance. So let's start.
Oh my god, he's dead? No!
Yeah, this is true. People are always, it's usually guys that are like,
divorce rates are so high, like women, blah, 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 blah.
It's crazy, bestie. You know why? It's because women are becoming independent. Women are breaking free from social expectations and stigma. Women leaving abusive relationships and women becoming financially secure. Those are all the reasons as to why divorce is so high, is because women have rights and we have freedom. And now we are going to utilize that. So let's go over marriage. Here's TikTok number 2.
Okay, so what are some things you've noticed that are blatantly sexist but are so normalized within society? I'll take the bait and go first. The fact that it's so normalized for women to change their last name after getting married is beyond me. Like, this is the name you got your degree with. This is the name that is associated with all your accomplishments, yet society just expects you to pack it up and change it the second you get married. And the fact that so many men out there expect their significant other to change their last name for them. And I understand all the arguments for why you would want to change your last name to be a part of the family and it's easier for the kids and all that BS. But the fact that the pressure is solely put on women, my last name is a huge part of my identity and I ain't changing it for no one. But y'all stay safe out there.
Yeah. Y'all stay safe out there. Do you know how many times? Okay, because my last name is Januszowski. Yeah, it's a tongue twister. No one's going to fucking get it. It's okay. The most foreign shit you could possibly ask for. So every time like teachers, friends, family will be like, oh, you need to marry a guy with the last name Smith. Fuck you. Number 1, that sounds stupid. Guste Smith. I'm not changing my last name. I like it. Okay? Janice. You can call me Janice. Why is that a thing? There's no such thing as a female last name. Even my last name, it's not female. I got it from my dad. And every other person's last name they got from their dad. There's literally no such thing as a female last name. Well, I'm sure there are, but like it's probably so fucking rare to have a female last name because generation after generation, we are constantly taking our dad's last name, therefore erasing the woman's last name and her family history behind it. You learn something new every day. That's kind of fucking crazy. Why is the pressure placed on the woman to change her last name? Like, if you want to change your last name to your husband's, like, go off. But I think that the option should be there to not. And the fact that, like, some men expect a woman to change her last name is, like, weird. Like, why? My name is attached to all my accomplishments, my achievements. Like, why would I want to get rid of my last name and change it to yours?
What are some things you've noticed that are blatantly sexist but are so normalized?
Okay, I have one. I think that it is sexist that our fathers, like, walk us down the aisle whenever we get married because that came from a time where we were considered property. So our father is giving his property away to now a new man because now the woman is supposed to be their husband's property. I feel like that needed to be, like, done away with when, we started getting rights, because that is not cute. That's not cute, and I'm not doing that. Like, I'm walking down the aisle by myself. This is my moment to shine. No man or anybody is gonna be walking down the aisle.
Fuck yeah. Same here. I'm not a piece of property to be exchanged between men. So that is canceled. The practice dates back to the days when women were the property of their father, and he gave her away in exchange for a dowry. This antiquated practice has evolved, and many modern brides now derive great meaning from it. I don't know how you go from sexist to making great meaning of it. Weird.
So what are some things you've noticed that are blatantly sexist but are so normal? Literally everything about traditional weddings. Your dad gives you away so you can be passed from one man to another man.
So dumb.
You have to wear a white dress because if you're not a virgin, you're shit. It's bad luck for the man to see the bride on the day of the wedding, because back when marriages were all arranged, if the guy saw the bride before the wedding, sometimes he would want to call it off because he didn't fancy her, and that would bring shame on the bride.
Why would you even consider marriage if you see the bride and then suddenly, like, you don't want to get married anymore? I don't know. That's just so weird. Like, I don't know. That doesn't make sense.
Also why the veil is a thing. So at the last minute, oh no. Traditionally, the groom's family pays for the wedding. I'm just kidding. It's the bride's.
Yikes. Let's look that up. 7 surprisingly sexist wedding traditions we should change immediately. Great. The garter toss. Oh, perfect. Okay, so it's not exactly intuitive for men to gather around to catch the undergarment of their buddy's new wife. The tradition comes from the Middle Ages, when the newlywed couple would immediately leave the wedding for a separate room to consummate their marriage. Unfortunately, the consummation, what is that word, wasn't exactly private. In some countries, you needed a witness for it to be official. Basically, the garter toss originated when a few witnesses would get a little too enthusiastic about the action and grab the bride's clothes as she walked by. People realized how utterly creepy this was, so instead the groom would remove an undergarment and toss it outside to prove the consummation to the witness. The garter toss is essentially proof that the bride has been deflowered in a very public setting. Not exactly empowering.
Ew!
I didn't even know that. You're telling me if I got married back in the 1800s, I had to go be escorted to what? Number 1, a chamber. Not like a bedroom, a chamber. What the fuck? My husband had to prove that I was being deflowered, basically losing my virginity, by tossing my fucking underwear outside. What the heck? Let's also define consummation, because I don't know what the fuck that means. The action of making a marriage or relationship complete by having sexual intercourse. Oh my god, it just makes everything I said so much worse. Let's move on before I get mad. The best man? I didn't even know the best man was gonna be a sexist thing, but okay. In the days before wedding parties, best men weren't chosen for their friendship. They were chosen for their strength. Why exactly? This is a good question. Tell us why. So they would fight off the bride or her family if she decided to flee during the wedding. Ooh. That's right. According to Mental Floss, the best man is a tradition that comes from forcing women to be married. Essentially to enable kidnapping. Awesome. It just keeps getting better and better. Of course, this troubling history doesn't mean you shouldn't involve your friends in your big day, but instead of embracing traditional wedding parties, why not break the gender segregation? With modern understandings of gender identity, bridesmaids and groomsmen are far from the only option. Grooms can have groomswomen, brides can have bridesmen, or the couple could ignore gender altogether and unite one desegregated wedding party. Genius! The white dress. Okay, so here we go. Let's talk about the white dress. As most of us know, the wedding dress is meant to represent purity and virginity. Nowadays, that's often far from true, of course. Yeah, no, like, I'm not a fucking virgin. I'm not saving myself for marriage, so that's whack. But the color is still considered a standard for brides nonetheless. The implication, purity and innocence, were equated with the value of a woman as a bride. So, a sexually experienced woman was worth less than a virgin. The veil. Okay, veil or veal? I'm going to say veil. The veil is just as guilty. The veil was traditionally worn by the bride until either her father or new husband lifted it. The lifting of the veil represented the groom's right to consummate the marriage, representing another thin membrane, the hymen, that will be physically penetrated on the wedding night. What the fuck is this? Did I read this right? Okay, so essentially what they're saying is the veil, you know, the little shield, and then they lift it up. The purpose for that was as soon as the father or husband lifted the veil off of the bride's face, he has the right to physically penetrate her that night. What the figgity fucked up is going on? I have a lot to say, but the short version, don't feel any shame if you want to rock a veil on your wedding day, but you can keep it back, not covering your face the whole time, or lift it yourself. I like how this website is offering solutions to bachelor parties. This one may not be surprising. If you think about it, the last night of freedom, the dumbest, don't get me started, implies that there's a lack of freedom after you tie the knot. According to the Time, the tradition dates back to the 5th century BC when ancient Spartans celebrated the groom's last night as a single man. After all, when marriages were often arranged business deals, the idea of celebrating your last single night made sense. Now, marriage shouldn't mean the end of your freedom, and marrying your true partner shouldn't be something you feel the need to lash out against beforehand. Want a wild night of fun? Go for it, but please don't make any references to the ball and chain coming soon. I don't understand bachelor parties. I'm so sorry, but the fact that you're doing that right before a wedding is so utterly disrespectful. No, have a bachelor party. Go out to the fucking club. Like, why is it segregated? That's so true. Like, why can we not all go to the strip club together? Weddings are so fucking strange. Yeah, let's talk about the difference between Mr., Mrs., Miss, and then Miss. Crazy how there's only one title for men, which is Mr., and then there's 3 for addressing a woman. Mr. is an abbreviation of master. Miss, Mrs., and Miss are all abbreviations of mistress. Mrs. was pronounced mistress and used to refer to a woman of higher social standing, married or not. It wasn't until the 1900s that Mrs., MRS, began to signify a married woman and allowed people to know that she belonged to a man. Do you see that we live in a patriarchy? Do you see? Do you see? MRS, Mrs., if I'm married. Miss, M-I-S-S, if I'm young and unmarried, or Miss, M-S, if I'm old and unmarried or divorced. So is it really necessary for a woman to have her name prefixed by a word that denotes her marital status? That's none of your fucking business, is it? If marital status is not asked of both genders, no further information is needed. We're gonna go over why women give birth laying down. Okay, let's watch this TikTok. Let's pause it. Yeah, so basically women lie on their back to give birth because King Henry, it's actually King Louis, got off looking directly at it. It's not even the best position for labor. What the fuck? You're telling me women are giving birth laying down because a fucking king was a pervert who wanted to watch women go through one of the most enduring because he wanted to watch women enduring one of the most painful experiences known to humans. Oh my god. Like, all because this guy wanted to look at pussy? Like, it just... Lying on your back with your legs flexed 90 degrees at your hips actually makes the diameter of the pelvic outlet smaller, whereas more upright positions allow the pelvis to expand and gravity to do its job. On like a birthing, it was like this chair that they would sit on and the baby would just like, you know, gravity would help the baby come down out of your vagina. Louis enjoyed watching women giving birth. He became frustrated by the obscured view when it occurred on a birthing stool. Because of this, he promoted the new reclining position. he also insisted on male midwives attending the births. So up until this point, women were giving birth sitting down and men were not allowed in the room. That was the thing. Men were just not allowed to be there. So you're telling me that a king was mad. He was mad because he couldn't see a woman's vagina when she was giving birth. He was like, this is fucked up. Why is she sitting? She needs to be laying down so I could see. Ew. Like, the masses may have been influenced by the king who actively promoted the birthing position, and it has since spread from there. So you're telling me doctors, gynecologists, they're all educated that giving birth this way isn't like effective or efficient whatsoever. And we are continuing doing this. Why? Can anyone answer my fucking question? It seems to me that society likes to put women in excruciating pain even though they don't have to be. And y'all still want to say we don't live in a patriarchy. Please make sure your wife gives birth sitting down.